when you do understand what race really is, it is really kind of silly, right? I mean, that we have all these issues, and like I said in my post, race is but a social construct used to segregate for a few to maintain power. Folks don't get it. It's like, how is one related to the other? And then I say, well, that's another subject that I'm going to cover some other time. But it is important that we see those things. I have another call I want to get into. 703. 703. Who do I have the honor of speaking with?
Hi, this is Tremaine.
Tremaine? Come on in, Tremaine. How you doing?
I'm doing not so good.
Tell me why you're not so good, and then let's talk about it.
Well, the recent atrocities that happened and the Dallas shootings just seem to exacerbate this issue we have with race. And I think you put it perfectly earlier in the show where you talk about how it's an unhealed scab. It's an infected wound, race relations in America. And I believe that with the election of Barack Obama twice has basically allowed a certain segment of the population to fester, and the rise of Donald Trump has given them a voice.
Right.
They've been under the rock for the last 7.5 years, just festering and pissed off, and now you have this person, Donald Trump, that is giving them voice to all of these noxious thoughts. And I hate the fact that politics is carrying people away, but at the fundamental base of it, folks are following this guy because he speaks his mind. So do we have this large population that has these thoughts and they've just been silent?
Well, I think
that's the part that bothered me the most. Silence.
Yeah, let me tell you. First of all, I think you hit on something that is rather important, right? I think that in effect, there are a lot of people that have always harbored these sentiments. Yes, but I think it is not necessarily as bad as you state in this respect. A lot of times we have bad thoughts, but because of the environment we're in, they're suppressed, right? All of us have bad thoughts. They're suppressed. And as long as they're suppressed, it's all right. But if you're given an environment for your bad thoughts to fester and for other information to come in there to kind of give nourishment to those thoughts, then they expand. I mean, let's go back to I hate to use Germany and the Hitler days, but a lot of the people who supported Hitler, I don't think that they were intrinsically bad people. I think what happens with a lot of people in general, no matter what part of the world you're from, is that you're easily influenced. And not only you're easily influenced, but peer pressure plays a big part. I can sit down in a Starbucks with somebody, and while I'm in that Starbucks with somebody, they are in complete agreement with me and they are perfectly okay. But when they are in their environment with their peers, they immediately start to, I remember completely an interesting scenario. We went over a whole lot of policies and that sort of stuff with a friend, a right-wing Republican friend, and he was all in agreement with me. And another day I went in Starbucks and he saw me. And the fear, he was with his friends, the fear that came into that guy, because he feared that I could read his face, that he feared I would come in there and have try to talk about the discussion that we had among his peers. This is a good man, but he's a fearful man because he's surrounded by. So am I making any sense, or did I get that clear far as?
Oh yeah, you're perfectly clear. As a matter of fact, the movie and the book, The Help,
yes,
illustrates that nuance perfectly.
Right.
It's that fear of being ostracized and shunned by their peers.
Right.
Which is why they don't say anything.
You are so right. And I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and to me, that's what's the worst, is the silence now.
Right. And I think, and that's why groups that, let's say, that's why Black Lives Matter needs allies. That's why all these different groups that, I'm coming to you, Skype call, that's why all these other groups that are part of these movements, they're all separated right now, need to get other people within these movements so that there is protection among numbers. Because I tell you what, there is a tipping point that occurs when good people that have good thoughts are willing to cross over, when they know that they're not going to be left in isolations. And as opposed to something that Charles Blow said, I want to sort of go against what he said in that respect, in that we have to be able, though the aggrieved, the blacks, the Hispanics, the Latinos, all have to be willing to bring these other folks in so that they know they have that place of comfort. Because if they are going to leave their place of comfort, very few people are willing to leave a place of comfort for discomfort for no value. Think about that. So, I mean, that's the reason with my as I grow older, I'm able to empathize.